what's a gummy bear implant? This is a gummy bear implant. This is not a gummy bear implant. Both of these implants are made by Mentor Corporation. It's a very good company that makes wonderful products. But we can see a few differences right away. Neither of these were ever in anybody. These were designed to show what they look like, but these are exactly the same thing as the implants that I use. If somebody has an attractive breast with a nice shape and everything is basically great, and all we're going to do is we're going to add volume, then probably the best thing to do is to use a smooth, round implant, placing it underneath the muscle so that we have a little bit of fullness that's brought in. What's the downside? If you hold this implant up, then you can see this, and this is wrinkling and rippling. And this is something that's inherent in any type of a smooth implant. In contrast, we take a look at the gummy bear implant. These are highly cohesive gel implants. The stuff that's inside of this, if I were to cut this with a pair of scissors, it would just be a big blob. It sticks to itself. It doesn't go anywhere. And that's why these implants were designed, so that we wouldn't have the possibility of gel migrating anywhere outside of the capsule or into the person. So with this kind of an implant, it has a particular shape. And what we see is that when I stand this implant up, we have a little bit of contour irregularity, but not much. So essentially, we're eliminating the rippling at the top. So this means a few things. One of them is that if the patient has a breast that is very thin, whether we go under the muscle or over the muscle, we can use this kind of an implant, and it's going to leave the shape of the implant rather than relying on the shape of the breast. So it gives us a lot of abilities to actually create the shape that we want. The other thing is, if you take a look at the edges are smooth. And so in the patient who has an implant that you can feel and feels kind of funny, you've got little folds, this implant doesn't do that. Whereas this kind of an implant can have folds and irregularities, and some of these unusual little bumps that we can tell are simply the product of the implant sitting in a space. So, when do I use this kind of an implant? In the ideal patient who's just looking for a little bit of volume but otherwise has a great result, when do I use this kind of an implant? In cases where the patient wants it, in cases where I'm trying to create the shape, which is the shape, and then the third situation where I really need to have the smoothness at the top so that we eliminate irregularities.